Okay, so we're going to talk about hot topics in Condo Land, and boy, is there some hot topics going on. So the first thing we're going to talk about is catastrophes. And what is a catastrophe? Okay, it's for property insurance, okay, in the industry, it denotes a natural or man-made disaster that is extremely severe or unusually severe, okay? It has to have one of the followings, or several of the followings, or all of the followings. 25 million more in insured property losses, 10 deaths, or 50,000, or 50 people injured, 2,000 filed claims for homes and structures damaged. Okay, that's what a catastrophe is. Now this next slide, take a look at it. That is the map of America in 2023. At the top of the map, you will see some signs for different types of catastrophes, for drought, flooding, hail, hurricanes, severe weather, tornadoes, wildfire, and of course, winter storms. If you look under the wildfire and you see Hawaii in the corner here, we were the only one that had a wildfire in 2023. That wildfire put us on the map for the first time in 30 some odd years. We never want to be on this map ever again. Okay, because what happens is the reinsurers, and we're going to talk about these people, realized we're a part of America. And we were out in the Pacific Ocean. Nobody was paying attention to us. And our rates, on the average, were 30 to 40% less than any other state on the mainland. And I'm not just talking about our condo rates, I'm talking about auto rates, homeowners rates. We were very much under the wire. And we like to be there. And we're not there anymore because we are on this map. And Lahaina was the 27th catastrophe in America. There was one more after Lahaina. Normally, we have 15, 16, 17, sometimes we get up to 19 and 20. We've never had so many as we had in 2023. So how does that affect us? So let's see what also happened in the world. Okay, this is, as you can see again, the different symbols for what can happen. And again, you can see how the catastrophes are certain countries, and they're the industrialized countries. Okay, and of course, America is very industrialized. So let's look at this slide. This slide is very interesting. If you see what happened, U.S. events in, excuse me, U.S. events in 2019, we had 14, and you can see 22, 20, 18, and then 28. Okay. Then if you look at the U.S. losses, okay, you can see the billions that are U.S. losses. And when you look at the global events, you say, okay, hey, we only had 14 out of 54. We only have 22 out of 59. Or hey, 28 out of 66. What's the problem? Why are we getting zapped so? Okay. And then you can see the global losses. But the next column are the insured losses. And if you look in 2019, we had 14 events worth 54 billion, and the total was 94 billion in the world. Look at 22, we had 118 billion, and the insured losses were 122 billion. Guess where all the losses are? America. In 2021, there were 160 billion losses, and insured were 153 billion. And you say, huh? Yes. And then take 2023, 93 billion in America, and yet only 118 billion in the world. So we are always using more reinsurance than any other country. And because we use more of it, we're also paying more to put it back. So 2023, we had all-time highest disasters. You can read this slide on your own. I'm sure it's in your booklet. But important thing to realize is that numbers have been steadily increasing. And I know many people don't believe in climate change. It's just been a bad year. That's fine. Climate change, bad year, whatever the reason. 2023 was a horrible year. And so far for 2024, we're doing well. I just checked, and we only have, and the insurance industry says this, only have 60 billion so far for 2024. This is good for America. I was hoping for less, but that's okay, because if we have less in America this year, we'll have a little bit of a reduction in our premiums next year. Since 1980, the U.S. has suffered, the very last line, $377 billion events costing $2.67 trillion. And we've also lost 16,533 lives. So it is a staggering amount, not only of money, but of people. But as I said, we're doing better. And since June of 2024, as of June of 24, okay, we have had 9 severe storms and 2 winter storm events. No hurricanes so far that have created anything through June. We have tornadoes. That's okay. They can have them. We don't want them. Okay, so here's the problem. Catastrophes affect our rates, our insurance rates. Property rates started to decline in 2019 due to prior years. Hawaii rates remain relatively low until 2021. Every year I try to get more standard companies to come to Hawaii and write business. And I will call them on the main and I say, you write in these other states, why don't you write in Hawaii? How many condos do you need to write to come to Hawaii and help write some of our business? We need 300. I said, not a problem. I got 1,100. What? They said, send us some information. I send them some information. I show what we're charging. And every single one of them says, your rates are too low. And that has been a problem. Our rates have been too low. We can't get people to come to Hawaii to write business here. The insurance commissioner will tell you we have about 2,000 some odd companies that write business in Hawaii. Of those 2,000 odd, we have 3 standard markets that are here in Hawaii, governed by our insurance commissioner who monitors the rates. We have 3 that write our high-rise condos, poured concrete condos. We have First Insurance, Fireman's Fund, and DB. None of them are writing wood frame or steel frame, okay? We just have 3 standard markets. On the other side, so you're not a poured concrete building, or you've lost the being in the standard market due to the fact that you've had so many water claims, or you've had a huge fire and you haven't put sprinklers in, and now you're in the secondary market or the surplus lines. I always call it the secondary market so you know you got to get better. Okay, so the secondary market has about 78 carriers that write our coverage here in Hawaii. And yet there's 2,000 some odd carriers in Hawaii, but many of them only write homeowners or IDHO 6s, or they only write businesses, or they only write taxis, or whatever the case may be. But condos were very limited in the number of companies we have to choose from. Okay, so this is one of our problems. So rates started to climb because catastrophes started to climb. And of course, when they pay out, we have to pay the piper back. So what issues do we have? Old buildings. Lots of old buildings. Do I have my slide? Yeah, let me go forward to this slide. Year built. Now, there weren't condos in 1950, but buildings were built in 1950, mainly co-ops or hotels, and then they were converted to condos. So from 1950 through 2010, you can see that we have 806 condos that are old. Okay, now those of us who were born in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, we know how old we are. And we know our pipes aren't as good, and we know we're failing, but our buildings are doing the same thing, okay? So compare yourselves to that. It would be nice if I could just have Sagewater put some new pipes in me, be healthy. It doesn't work that way, okay? So this is the problem we have. Old buildings, and old buildings didn't have to have sprinklers. Old buildings have spalling problems. Old buildings have to get elevators redone. And so there's a lot of old buildings in Hawaii that are iffy as far as the insurance industry is concerned because they don't have sprinklers. Okay, so let's go back. What's our first problem? It's old buildings. Property is hurricane capacity. There's just so much capacity to write. It was interesting. 2 years ago, Allianz, who is Fireman's Fund, opened their book of business. They're a huge company in Europe, opened their book of business, and they said, what the is going on in this little island in the middle of the Pacific? We have 80% of our hurricane exposure in one little island. And insurance companies like to spread the risk. The first thought that the European people said is, close it down. The people here locally said, wait. It's a good business here, except for a couple of years, you've always made a profit. They said, okay, we're going to reduce our hurricane capacity so they'll stay in Hawaii. And we're glad they stayed in Hawaii. They have a good product, but they've reduced their capacity that they can write here. At the same time, we had another company who was writing wood frame, stopped writing wood frame, and so now all of them are needing to buy hurricane capacity from the market that we have. So it's very tight, it's very expensive, and it's all last minute. You're getting your quotes 3 days before, sometimes the day before, sometimes 2 weeks before if you're lucky, and you're all saying, screaming at everybody, but every single condo is going out to bid. And the underwriters who are looking at it, I say, I'm still finishing up July. Okay, I can't be doing August. 5-minute warning already? Okay, so we have sprinklers and pipes is another problem. And we have claims. Boy, do we have claims. Okay, you saw the slide, got to move that faster. Property, okay, loss creep is today, they figure out what they need to insure you for, plus the cost of what it's, if you have a claim, 6 months in the policy, 8 months in the policy, what the construction cost would be, because it creeps up. So they want to start you off at a realistic value, so in case you have that claim. And the perfect example is we had a project in Maui, high-end condo, it burnt down before COVID. At COVID, it was 2.1 to rebuild. By the time it got done, because of COVID, it was 4.2. Okay, so the loss creep was huge. All right, tighter underwriting, we're all being asked questions. What are they doing about their maintenance? Have they had their pipes inspected? Have they done their roof? When's the last time they had someone check their electrical? They're so nervous because of what happened in that Florida condo that they can't believe we wouldn't take care of the places we live in, that they're now asking us all these questions about you. And of course, we're bugging your property managers, as they will tell you, and we're going to the building department to find out what permits have been pulled, so we can at least say, oh, they're doing this, this, and that. And when you do your pipes, that's huge to them. But that's not enough, because they're going to ask about your roof. We've not looked at our roof in 50 years, and we're a 50-year-old condo. We've not done our pipes for 50 years. We've not done anything. We've just been existing. Not good on the application to the underwriter. So poor loss ratio, a lot of that. We have a small market, non-sprinkler buildings, and old buildings. Why the tighter underwriting? Because there's a lot of claims. And insurance should not be a maintenance policy, but it is for many of us because our water heater breaks. I know I was supposed to replace it. The association told me to do it, but I didn't do it, and now it's 5 years more old, and it caused a huge claim. Or yeah, my sink was kind of wet underneath the pipes, but I thought, what the heck, and then it breaks. So we're becoming a maintenance policy. Not that we're covering the cost to repair the appliance that breaks, but we have to cover water overflow, sudden and accidental, from a domestic plumbing system. So when somebody's water heater gives out, somebody's ice maker leaks, we have to cover the building as originally built. What's happening is the deductibles are going up for water claims because we have so many. We file 7 to 10 a day. 7 to 10 water claims a day. Because of the higher deductibles, it's going down. We're not filing as many because, it's only going to be a $12,000 claim. It's only going to be a $20,000 claim. You're seeing a lot of $25,000 per unit deductibles. It's the insurance's way of saying, owners, wake up, take care of your appliances, have a plumbing inspection, do something about it. And a plumbing inspection is a thing that the insurance companies ask. Have they done it? Yes, they did a plumbing inspection 5 years ago. Great, every 5 to 7 years. Have a plumber come in, check all your water-bearing appliances. He can check other things, but all your water-bearing appliances, and force people to fix them. We are a hurricane state, even though we had a wildfire. We are a hurricane state, and the people who pay the hurricane also pay the wildfire, so we are getting zapped. So reinsurance costs, before Lahaina, it cost about $325 on the average to build. After Lahaina, it went up to about $400 to $425. So we are now having to increase your replacement cost as well. Let's see, we have problems here with the capacity. Concrete buildings on the average are seeing 100 to a 200% increase. Concrete buildings, 100 to 200% increase. Those of you with wood frame, steel frame, double wall, you are probably seeing somewhere between a 3 to a 500% increase on the average for your insurance premiums. Those of you who have not received your renewal, I'm sorry I gave you indigestion, but that is what's happening. Water claims, you got to stop them, people. You've got to replace the old pipes. You got 2 people over there willing to do it for you. You have to do an inspection. You should be maintaining pipes, and you need to do preventive maintenance, especially those of you in low rises or townhouse style. Tree roots love to get into your pipes, and then they back up, and then we have a huge claim, okay? It's better to have them scoped, check them out, take care of it. So what's happening? New sprinkler buildings are having trouble getting hurricane capacity. Owners are not able to buy HO6 coverage. The fact that another company just announced it's going to non-renew all their HO6 policies. They're not going to write them. Other companies are saying 2 claims or more, we're done. I had a woman call me not too long ago. She finally found somebody. Otherwise, she was going to sell her unit. Her $556 premium went to $3,000 and up because she could not find anybody to write it because she had claims. So you need to make sure you don't use your HO6 because your cell phone cracked and you want a new cell phone. It's got to be for the big stuff, people, because the companies are not going to put up with a $500 premium and paying out thousands and thousands of dollars for something that is a maintenance issue. And the HO6 carriers are getting stuck with the association's deductible. I know, I'm supposed to stop, but it's hard to make me stop. So what can you do? Well, it is. He said, stop, big red sign. What can you do about your increases? You have to follow your reserve study. Please don't stop. Follow your reserve study. If you're a sprinkler building, if you're a non-sprinkler building, you need to put money aside to do sprinklers. It will come. It will happen. And if you have a fire, then companies are going to leave you, and you're going to wish you did it sooner than later. Replace your pipes and do pipes and sprinklers at the same time if you can, because there's a huge savings. There's a 56-year-old building doing it on the LOI with pipes only with 4.7. They could throw the sprinklers in for another 1.5, and they're doing it, and they're going to be all done well and up. So anyway, I have to go, but here, let me tell you, preserve, protect, and maintain is what you need to do. All right, I'm sorry I'm late.